Another example of one rule for them, one rule for the rest of us. Just last week, these were the screeches being heard by that fool who is the Deputy Premier in Queensland. I don't have a nickname for him yet, but I've got lots of swear words.
Our international borders are supposed to be closed, but every week thousands of people are allowed to travel. These are putting our community at an unacceptable risk.
You mean people like the Premier of Queensland, who, remember, is going to be leaving Queensland to go to the IOC to suck up to them to hope that Brisbane will get the 2032 Olympics. By the way, they will. No other cities are bidding. But despite the fact that the state's in danger from people coming and going, she has to go, right?
The reason that I would be going to Tokyo is to actually to help secure the Olympics 2032 for Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. This is a very important meeting.
Very important. It's very important. So I have to go. By the way, of course, because people's BS detectors are going wild in relation to this obvious hypocrisy, last week, people coming and going are the problem. This week, I have to go because it's really important. So she decided to stomp her foot like the giant toddler she is.
It is being made very clear by John Coates that it would be a disaster if the head of Queensland did not go.
A disaster. Brisbane's the preferred city because there's no other serious bids. Brisbane will get the 2032 Olympic Games. But I have to go. Mr. Coates says I have to go to Japan. And I've got to have Pfizer after I've had a flu shot. Seriously. This person thinks that what she has to do, which is vitally important, is more important than take your pick. The family that wasn't able to leave hotel quarantine in Queensland to see their gravely ill mother. What about the girl who was forced by the Queensland authorities to wear PPE to go to her dad's, not even funeral, but to see his body after the funeral? She wasn't even allowed to hug her own sister. I have to go to the Olympics. Is apparently more important than this lady who's not just having a high-risk pregnancy, but she also is facing weeks in quarantine because, you know, Queensland, follow the science.
I have requested and continuously requested that at least they can do before I leave, before they shove us back in another hotel, is to check the feeder. To shove us in a hotel room and then take all our bags. I don't understand. It just seems no regard for human life. Like, I've seen plenty of videos of families shoved in tiny little rooms with children, and there just doesn't seem to be an excuse.
So I joke, but here's what's really serious. A woman who had twins held off on going to a hospital during the height of the pandemic last year because Queensland wouldn't open their border and she lost one of those kids. That lady is having a high-risk pregnancy right now, but she may have to leave the hospital because of Queensland Health. But apparently, this is more important.
It would be a disaster if the head of Queensland did not go.
Seriously.